What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is David.
And I'm Manny, and today we're gonna show off some of our cooler animals that we have. Basically just gonna give you guys an update on some of the animals, how they're looking and how big a very special lizard is getting.
Alright, so we have one of the biggest Leachies in my collection right here. Actually, it is the biggest Leachie in my collection. And this girl is a pure GT giant gecko. I'm gonna try to... Sometimes GTs can be a little feisty, but she's not too bad. Let me grab her. You see, they make a lot of noise also. But this is her right here. Oh, I'm trying to grab her. Okay. She got her big piece of cork. As you can see, she is not very happy right now. You can tell a Leachie's not happy when they, you know, that bottom part of their throat like puffs up just like that, and she's breathing heavy. You know, I kind of like woke her up in the middle of the day. But once you get them out, they're pretty good. Hopefully I don't get bit on camera or anything. But check this little thing out. Well, I thought she was about to poop. Anyways, this is the biggest Leachie in my collection. This girl here comes from a buddy of mine. His name is Rob, and he has some really popular giant geckos. One of them being Lucifer, and this is a Lucifer daughter. Now, as you can see, it is a dark form. It's not a melanistic, it's a dark form, which is two separate things, but the color on these things are absolutely insane. You can see it has like that really dark olive green in them. And this girl probably weighs close to 400 grams right now. And she, let me see if I could put her on my form so you guys could see just how big she is. Look at that. I mean, this girl will be breeding. Well, hopefully. I'll be pairing her up by the end of the year once we're all moved into our new facility. She is like mint condition. She's absolutely perfect. And the thing about giant geckos like these, the GT locales in particular could be a little bit trickier to pair because they're more aggressive, they're more territorial, so any little thing that could go wrong, they could really hurt each other. So it's, you know, very important that when I do pair these guys up, that we make sure that, you know, they're getting along for the first couple weeks, because overnight they could just decide they don't like each other anymore. And then if you've seen some of our older videos, they can just like completely tear each other up. This girl here, so I will actually weigh her later on in the video, but take a look at that. That's literally bigger than my forearm. And she is like a very, very impressive animal when you see her in person. Now, Leachianas are the most vocal gecko species out there. Well, they have the most range of vocalizations. Like the TikisGeckos might be more vocal, but they could chirp, they could, you know, squeal, they do all kinds of sounds, and that's how they communicate with one another. So when you actually have a bunch of Leachies, you'll actually hear them at night kind of like going back and forth with each other, which is really neat. And yeah, so this is her. I really don't even have a name for her yet, but she definitely needs like an epic name since she's so massive. And I'm going to show you guys the male I'm thinking of pairing up with her, and then we'll also get a weight on her. Let's see what she weighs. Alright, so we have our scale here. We're about to see just how much she weighs since the last time I weighed her. I'm really excited to find out. Last time I weighed her, she weighed about 340 grams. So let's see what she weighs now. That's in ounces. Alright, hold up. So let me just tear this, make sure it's right. Oh, there you go.
Ooh, nice.
Let's see how much the poop weighs.
She just lost like 10 grams.
12 grams of poop right there. Wow. That's a lot of poop.
Okay, take two.
Alright, take two. She almost just took a huge dump on me. Let's weigh her. 348. So she's staying about that same range of 350 range. As you can see, she is absolutely ginormous. Let me see if I have my measuring tape here. Of course, it's not here. It's okay. Yeah, you can see she is like the size of my forearm, my arm. She's the size of Manny's whole arm. Let's see, let me turn it around. This is a little trick we use to turn them around. Look at that gecko. That's a gecko.
Wow.
Literally longer than my forearm.
And she's still young too.
Yeah, she's not even 5 years old yet, so she still has room to grow. Technically, they never really stop growing. After 5 years, they'll kind of like peak, and that's when they start just like a 1/16 of an inch every year or so. But I mean, at this size, like, I'm very happy with her. I'm so glad I got her when I did. And if you want a giant gecko, a true giant, you gotta get a GT. These guys are ridiculous. Like I said, they could be a little territorial at first, but luckily she's not very aggressive or anything. I could go right in her cage and pick her up. She doesn't lunge at me or anything. Some are not like that, but yeah.
So she was 348 minus the 12-gram poop.
Yeah.
So she was like 360.
Exactly. That 12-gram poop. Let's show you her boyfriend. All right, so the guy I have here, he looks very similar to her. He's not as thick. Males tend to be a little bit thinner than the females, but he is longer than her. I've measured them before. He is absolutely incredible also. As you can see, he has a big blocky head, and he is just an awesome lizard, longer than her, like I said. And he is from Raspberry Gecko's Gator. So he took right after his dad, and he is very long. He's still growing as well, under 3 years old. So I'm excited to actually see these guys at their full capacity, at their full size. I just love, look, zoom in on these feet right here. One thing I love about the leeches is how their feet feel, because gecko feet obviously feel awesome with that lamellae in there. But when you feel a big gecko like this, you could actually like rub your thumb on it. You could just, it just feels like unlike anything else. It's really, really dope. Anyways, we want to weigh him also. We want to see how much he weighs in comparison to her. Clearly, he's not as thick as her, so I don't expect him to weigh as much. But, you know, this is possibly her future boyfriend. So I'm hoping when I do pair them up, they like each other and they could produce some massive babies. I do have a backup in case he doesn't want to breed with her. But, you know, we'll see. Hopefully he's the one. So let's put him here. Let's see how much he weighs.
Wow.
Oh, 346, about the same size actually. So he's picked up. Last time I weighed him, he was in the like 330 range. So he's put on some grams. And as you can see, I mean, look at this lizard. This is my hand. This is a big gecko.
I should put my hand there. Bigger.
This is a big gecko. I'm really excited to get these guys going. And man, for, you know, a lot of people are scared of the GTs because they think they're super aggressive or whatnot, but I just went right in there. I picked them up. I didn't have a problem. Clearly, not every GT is like that. He's actually, when he was younger, he was very skittish. He's calmed down quite significantly, and that's just by nature. I don't really handle them at all. But I mean, this is like, when it comes to geckos, this is like the holy grail. Like a giant GT dark gecko, like, so awesome. Can't wait to breed these guys. I've bred all kinds of like insular island leachies and stuff. Oh man, oh, I saw it coming. So all right,
he just lost 12 grams. Oh my god, maybe more.
That's what leachies do. Nilo, get out of there, you freaking nasty dog. All right, let me put him back now. All right guys, what I have here are called slender prehensile-tailed geckos, or Saracens giant gecko, or slender giant gecko. They are pretty skittish. Out of all the New Caledonian stuff, there's some of the more skittish and flighty geckos, but they're awesome lizards as well. These guys are called white collar, oh my god, Saracenorum. So Corylopus saracenorum is their scientific name. They're actually directly related to the crested geckos. These guys are not as popular, but they get a very good size. They get actually much bigger than crested geckos as well. This is a first year breeding group, and they've actually produced some babies, which is pretty surprising considering that these guys are very, they're not the most prolific breeders, but they're super awesome lizards. As you can see, the white collar Saracenorums have that white collar on their back, and they have some spots. Typically, you know, the spots aren't this big. This girl has pretty good sized spots. Normally they look more like this guy's here. He has smaller spots. Now their colors are pretty basic. They don't come in too many different types of colors. They're usually either brown or a light yellow or you know, earthy colors. Sometimes they could be a little bit olive like this, but very cool looking gecko. Definitely not something you see every day. And like I said, these are the white collar type. Now I'm going to show you like the regular ones that don't have the white collar, which are also awesome. So here is another pair of Saracens giant geckos, or slender prehensile tailed geckos. These obviously do not have the white collar. Now this female here was actually born in 2015, so she is a little older. This male is pretty new. He's also like about 4 years old now, and these guys, like I said, they're very active geckos. You'll see them running around, especially if you try to handle them. They rarely ever will stay, you know, put. They're always kind of like moving and jumping, and they could be a little bit skittish. But when it comes to care, it's pretty much the same as the crested geckos. They are very closely related, like I said. So if you could keep crested geckos, you could keep these guys. They are one of my favorite species of geckos in the world, and definitely something that needs to be put out there more because they're not very popular. So more people need to find out about these things. Very cool looking gecko. My favorite thing about them is their tail. They get a very thick prehensile tail, and it's very muscular, much more than a crested gecko. And they're just super awesome geckos, man. I can't say enough good things about them. Alright, so another little group I wanted to show you guys, give you a little update. A while back I did a video when I was like pairing up new gargoyle geckos, and one of those animals was Dracula's son, which I really love. So I wanted to give you an update on him. He's been producing a lot of nice babies, and I am looking forward to showing you guys. Oh, he's right here. Oh, he is so awesome. I love this boy. So he is actually a 6-stripe. Oh man, he kills some geckos. He is a 6-stripe. He is from Dracula, and as you can see, he has that yellowish base color that Dracula has as well. And I'm going to show you the females I have him with. Nothing too out of this world. Some like nicely colored females, like this girl here. She lets me grab her. Now they are fading a little bit because, you know, they're getting bred and they bite each other, and what was that? They bite each other and they get all crazy. But they have produced some really nice colored geckos. I want to get them into the light a little bit better here. So you can see he's already kind of fading too. They get, you know, gargoyle geckos could get pretty rough with each other when it comes to breeding. Get out of there, man. But man, I just love this boy right here. I love the side color all the way from his cheek down the laterals. And this is Dracula Jr. basically. That's what I called him. And this is one of his girls. He actually has another girl here. She has a really cool patterning, kind of like a spotted blotch. Let me show you her if I can find her. This is her right here. So he's in there with 2 females. She's a little bit crazier. I don't like my dog getting so close to them. So, right here. Put a lid on that so Lilo doesn't eat one. So she's really cool also. She has a little bit of that yellowish tint to the base color, but if you look closely, she's blotched. She's an aberrant stripe blotched. So she'll have broken stripes of orange, She'll also have like blotches down her sides. Just a really cool lizard also. I like to sometimes mix it up and not just produce the really clean stripes. When I pair up something like this to another stripe, or even to a reticulated, you'll get a lot of striped like animals that are like more broken. They're like more zigzaggy, they have blotches. So when I pair up two animals that are red stripes and they're very clean, all the animals are always going to come out, you know, clean for the most part. But when I throw something like this in the mix, it messes up the pattern a little bit and it throws the color all over, which is what I like sometimes. But yeah, this girl is really cool. I wish you guys would, you could actually probably see her in her prime if you go back to our old video. But yeah, I mean, these guys, Gargoyle geckos, especially this year, we have produced the most Gargoyle geckos we ever have in the past. And they're just such an awesome lizard overall. Probably, it goes back and forth between them and crested geckos is my favorite, but doesn't get much better than that. Look how cool that is. And just real quick, just because a lot of people always ask me, this is a basic setup for one of our groups. There's 3 geckos in here, and this is a 40 quart tub. So I have these fake ferns I get from the store. This creates a lot of visual barriers, a lot of places for them to hide in between. I have a big piece of cork here. I have a mulch substrate, which I don't normally recommend. It just depends on where you live. And obviously the lay box right here, which is just these food containers we get, and we cut out a hole, we put sphagnum moss in there, and this is how we keep our groups. Very simple setup, as you can see. Nothing, you know, we don't have freaking isopods in here or anything. I can't afford to do that with all my cages. But very simple setup, and it's something that, you know, one of these tubs at Walmart would be probably like 15 bucks maybe. So it's the most affordable thing if you're looking to breed.
So one of my favorite and most exciting lines that I've been working with recently are the dark line blue tongue skinks. These guys are basically born kind of normal, sometimes a little darker, and with age they keep progressing darker and darker and darker. And I really like these guys because there's some examples in the US that it's almost like a jet black blue tongue, kind of like the eastern hypermelanistic blue tongues, but it's not, it's a northern. And they do still have some nice contrasting whites, so that's basically what I'm trying to work at. This is one of our adult females. As you can see, she basically has no color left. This yellow color,
the tail too.
Okay. So this yellow color would normally go all the way from the sides through the middle and then through the other side. And as you can see, she basically lacks it. There's only very faint like pastel yellow colorations left, and the darkness goes all the way to the tail. These guys even sometimes will get like a little eye band pattern and even some darker limbs. She doesn't have too much of that, just like a little bit of speckling, but these guys can even get like an eye band, sometimes close to like a New South Wales Eastern. And this is one of my favorite girls. I can't wait to breed her again. Last year we actually made some really dark animals, and I want to show you 2 of them. So this is one of our darkest productions probably ever. This girl actually came out of a dark sunrise female to a dark male. And as you can see, just super black, and they're still very young. So she's gonna keep, she or he, whatever it is gonna keep getting more black and black as it ages. For it to be this black at this age, it's not even 6 months old yet. It's pretty ridiculous. And as you can see, it goes all the way down to the tail. And as I was telling you about the eye band a little bit, you can see it's almost like a faint eye band on this one. And hopefully it'll get darker and darker as it gets older. There's a little bit of blotching in the arms. And one thing I really like about this one is sometimes these dark line morphs can kind of fade. Instead of, they'll be like pretty black when they're younger, and then they'll start fading to like a pale, kind of pale black. But this one is really black, which is something I'm really excited for. And I can't wait till, you know, in 2 seasons it's gonna be ready to breed. And I also want to mix this with a bunch of different genes. This one's actually, like I was telling you, part sunrise, which I would like it to come out like, instead of how the yellow is fading here, I would love like a bright or a deep coloration on the side with the high contrast of the black on the body. So that's one of the things I'm going for, and one of the things I'm really excited for. And then this is a blue tongue I actually picked up this year from a good name, Frank Payne. This is kind of feisty. But in my opinion, he makes some of the darkest, if not the darkest northerns in the United States. And as you can see, this thing is basically jet black. Like solid black from the middle of the body all the way to the sides. And like I said, it's still very young. So you can't... For it to be this young and this black, this might turn out to be a solid black animal as an adult.
Yeah, the glare sometimes works against us here when we have the light right on it, but...
So those of you who have blue tongue and have tried to take good pictures of your blue tongue, their skills are very reflective. So it's a pain in the butt to get some good photos or good footage of blue tongue skinks. That's why, like, a lot of the pictures, they never do them justice, and it really frustrates me. But at least when, you know, you guys get the animals, you'll be like, wow, this is way better than the pictures have showed. But this guy or girl, man, I'm so excited. We have so many dark line animals now. We're mixing them with different morphs. Like I said, I'm very excited. I can't wait to show you guys what some of the results are. And then here, I'll show you, actually, I just thought of this. One of the northerns we produced 2 seasons ago, it's actually a combination with the dark line and the Swedish, which, if you guys have been paying attention, makes some of the coolest animals out here.
Your luscious hair, man.
Huh?
Your luscious hair.
I know. So this is what I'm talking about when I want a high colored animal with nice black contrast. Now in the future, I'm gonna want this center part to be also black, but as you can see, the colors on the yellows on this one and on the sides are much better than the other 2 animals. This is a female. She's actually gonna be breeding for us next season. I'm gonna throw her to one of my dark males, and hopefully we keep refining it. And as you can see, the color even goes to the tail on these Swedish animals.
All right, guys, in the middle of moving and doing all these crazy things, we're probably going to be in the new facility by the end of the year, hopefully, fingers crossed. But we still have a lot of our animals here. Actually, 95% of our animals are still here. So, you know, we'll still be making some videos here. We'll still be giving you updates of how the property's coming along over there. But, you know, I figured, you know, it's been a while since we've been consistently uploading on YouTube, so I wanted to try to get that going again. And I figured, you know, we just show you some updates of some projects and animals we got going.
Yeah, and if you want to stay up to date with all of our, you know, with all of the upgrades we're doing on the new facility, make sure you follow us on the social media platforms. We're posting there all the time on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Patreon. You know, we have it all. We're posting individual content on every single platform. So if you guys like us, you want to keep up to date with everything, make sure you hit that follow button. Until next time, guys, we love y'all. Stay safe.
See you soon.